On today's episode of the Real Recovery Podcast, episode 45, we are thrilled to welcome Erick Allen, affectionately known as EA. Erick is a certified alcohol and drug counselor, a qualified mental health associate, and the inspiring voice behind the Affirmations for Recovery podcast. From corporate life to a passion-driven mission in recovery, Erick has dedicated his life to creating tools, programs, and stories that resonate deeply with those in need. Join us as we explore his transformative journey, the groundbreaking work he's doing in peer-driven recovery, and his heartfelt philosophy that recovery is a lifestyle, not a destination. This episode promises to inspire, challenge, and uplift as we dive into the power of resilience, community, and self-discovery.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Recovery Podcast. I'm Julie, your co-host on this journey of healing and transformation. Together with my co-host, Peter, we dive into the heart of recovery, sharing stories that resonate with courage and inspiration.
That's right, Julie. Each episode is a new chapter in this vast narrative of recovery, and we're honored to bring them to you. But keep in mind, the perspectives you'll hear are for informational purposes only and may not reflect the views of the podcast or our partners.
Indeed, while these conversations can be a powerful part of your recovery toolkit, they are not substitute for professional medical advice. We encourage you to seek guidance from your healthcare provider for any treatment-related decisions.
And if you're facing an immediate crisis, or if you just need to talk to someone who understands, don't hesitate to call the Recovery Crisis Line at 503-223-8569. That number is also on our website. Help is available 24/7.
Now let's begin our episode
of recovery, real recovery.
Peter?
Yeah, I'm ready. We sound good.
Okay.
Of course we do.
Of course.
Hi,
Horse is a horse.
this is Julie from the Real Recovery Podcast.
And this is Peter, and we are here with Erick Allen, affectionately known as EA.
Yes.
And as I understand it, you're a certified alcohol and drug counselor and qualified mental health associate by the state of Oregon.
Yes.
And you also are the founder of the Affirmations for Recovery podcast.
Yes.
Which really is like exciting for me. Another
Yes.
podcaster in the house. Let's geek
Yes.
out. Let's
Yes.
just forget this
I'm
and just
spazzing
geek out.
for
Let's
real.
talk about tech and gadgets.
Yes.
And no,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just kidding.
No.
Yes.
As I understand it, you're the cool guy that walked up to our booth at the Oregon Recovery Walk
Oh my
that
God.
had
Yeah.
so much positivity and passion
Yes.
that you stood out to me.
Thank you.
No, in a good way, not in a crazy way. And wanted you on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I love positivity and outgoing. I'm the same way. And I find it infectious in a
Yes.
good way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
listened to one of your
It's therapy.
episodes and you talked about the passion
Yes.
and how and your guest at the time was also talking about their passion and how that's how you went from corporate and from all of that kind of world, left it behind, went with your heart, with your passion. And that really shows in your personality and in your
Absolutely.
show as well.
Well, I
That's where I'm
appreciate
headed.
it. Oh my God, I feel so warm and fuzzy already. We just getting started. Oh my God.
You got it.
Because it's nice to be recognized for the work that we do. Free to say that you watched the episode, man. I just got my head down at the moment. I'm not worried about who's clapping or booing. I'm just more focused on putting in the work. That's where
Amen.
success lives.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I believe.
Yes.
I told you I wanted 2 weeks off. It's just because I've been grinding for
Yes.
real. And we've been at like a lot of functions,
Mm-hmm.
which we feel so blessed to go. But it has been, Peter's doing his regular job.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as he's doing his regular job, I'm in this treatment center, that treatment center. And it's been a lot, but it's been good.
It's rewarding. It's frontline work. That's what I call it.
Makes your soul
Yeah.
feel good.
Yes, it's therapeutic.
It's funny how, because this last week, just to get ahead for the holidays, I put together, I think 3 or 4 episodes that we'd done. And yet I don't feel like I'm exhausted or
Right.
frustrated with anything. It just like every time I re-listen to a show, I'm like, or start editing it, and it brings me back to the moment when I was there with the person talking here in our living room. it gets my heart going. So
you're doing what you love.
You're
doing what you love. That's passion.
That is the passion.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're in the
We
same
just need
groove.
some rich billionaire to need to send some money our way to finance us.
That would be nice.
There is a way.
To clear their conscience and help us out. So,
This is the time of the year where you'll find those rich people that do those donations. And I think you guys are spot on. You're doing the work. You just got to wait in line. I think this type of work is like, picture DMV. At DMV, you got to pull the number. You got to wait. Number 1460,000. That's good.
Yeah,
we think so
You're
too.
well on your way. You're well
We're in
on
the
your way.
right spots.
Yes.
I know that. And
You're on the right track and the right train.
I believe
there
so.
you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So we want to hear your story and
Yeah.
how you went from the corporate to where you are now. What got you here? What got you to recovery? I know mine's pretty muddy. You know?
Mine is very muddy too. So I'll give you the PG-13 version.
I have a
Yes.
rated X version too.
Yes. You see,
Five escort services. Prison.
oh my God. Oh my God. Damn it.
Arrested with $250,000. So don't feel bad, okay?
Well, hey, I feel a little more. I might do PG-17 then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So for me, it really just started growing up here in this city. I grew up underprivileged in an underserved community, gang affected. And in Portland, I wasn't in a gang, but I was affected by gang culture just because it was new. Actually, I was a witness to, not like eyewitness, but I was a witness. I lived in a time where like the first murder, the first gang shooting. So just think about the city and how it had to handle that. We had to embrace that. And then police violence, and growing up as a person of color in a city that started off at like 3%. We systematically grew to 6%, a little over 6% now. It's because of all the procreation, right? It's all this doing this, right? But that's a good thing, actually. It's actually a good thing. So a little about me is that I grew up in that revolution. I grew up the drug era, crack.
When drugs were being sold on 15th and Northeast.
Yes.
In North
bullets was being
Alberta.
shot.
In front of
bullets
the
was being shot
market.
as well. Yeah, it's totally different now. You see everything differently
Look at
now.
it's so nice over there.
Oh my God, I see people walking dogs over there.
Look
right?
at
I would not be caught
and
after dark.
paintings, and they closed the
murals
street.
and stuff.
Yeah. I
So-
remember when the Cadillac Cafe was there and you could go buy weed.
Oh
on
yeah,
the-
she the
on the
shit.
street.
She's really the shit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
on the street behind. And I was at Portland State at the time, and I thought I was cool because I was the only white girl that could go over there,
You do that.
buy a $10 bag of weed. Exactly. Yeah,
So,
and I had
that's
no
me.
fear.
That's me. When I think of recovery, I think of the mind. That's where it starts. It starts for me there. So yeah, I dibbled and dabbled in drugs and the culture, sold a lot of it. So when I think about recovery, I talk about more of the recovery from that aspect. I did use, and I did struggle with that. I went to prison. I took every route you can imagine. But when I think of my recovery, I think about my mind. I think about how I process information.
That's why I stay.
Yes.
The drug obsession has been removed for about
Ever.
24, not ever, but
It feels it's so long.
the first 3 years were a little, but I will tell you, I stay because of the mind and how I think. I feel like I'm the most mentally sound that I've been ever this last year.
Now, yeah. And I feel the same way after I recently stopped drinking, just stopped doing the basic, all the other stuff. But it's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. Recovery for me is a journey. It's not a destination. I look, my rest of my life is a recovery.
Right. Yeah.
And I preach this gospel in groups. So people that's listening in my groups, you know what I'm talking about. Treatment is the plan.
Treatment gets you clean. It doesn't keep you clean.
Yeah, but recovery is a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Treatment is actually where you develop a plan of how to live the recovery lifestyle. Right.
I also think me and my friend, she's on our board, Colette, we've been talking. In treatment, they got to set them up with some meetings like we were talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
And with a family and a foundation, because otherwise you just get sober.
Yes.
You don't have a change.
Yes.
And it's the change. I stopped hanging out with every single person that I hung out with before I went to prison. And I had to.
I cannot see you in prison.
Me neither. Okay? Like, for real.
No, prison women are not supposed to be in prison. I guess nobody should.
Nobody should be in prison.
But when you think about
I just
women,
celebrated
oh my God.
30 years out of prison.
Yeah.
I celebrate everything. Like it could have been 30 minutes at a prison. I would have had I feel the same way. It's all about celebrating life.
This year's a lot of landmarks.
Yeah.
Well, 10,000 days
congratulations.
sober.
Yeah.
10,000 days?
Yeah.
That's huge. Just only what? 365 in a year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's big. I can't even count that high. I don't even know how many years it is. I'm lost. I'm going to have to do some division.
Way more than I have.
I don't want to say because I don't want you to know how old I am.
You already walked down the road. You said 30 years a year, and unless you went to jail at 8.
I don't think an 8-year-old in the escort service. No, that doesn't compute.
No, but you hold it all together. I could not tell anything. I can't. Other than this being a recovery podcast.
Part of what we do is we want to remove that stigma, and people who have used in the past are different. When you're using, you're a different person than you are without using. And so many people look at others on the streets and they immediately have the stereotype of, oh, that's that kind of person.
Yes.
Or someone who has a prison background. And Julie experienced it just recently with a company that she was applying for. It all came back. And it's 30 years ago.
They
you're still
rescinded
gonna
their
hold that image.
$80,000 offer over a 30-year-old crime.
Wow.
And I was shocked, grateful in a way. I didn't want to drive there. But this was before my company restructured. And it's crazy because my book cover doesn't fit the story, right? I'm lucky.
Absolutely.
And until we did the podcast, and we were recording in Studio J. We mostly record in Studio H, but we were in Studio J that night, and I had never mixed my business because I did climb up so professional, right? With my personal. You can't find who I've slept with, what I've done on Facebook.
Righteous.
And when we did our episodes, I felt like I was a naked stripper on a pole. And I've never stripped.
Twerking. Was you twerking?
I told Peter, I was like, oh my God, I feel so naked because anybody could hear the podcast and anybody judgmental could know that I went to prison. It's not something I went into my company and said, oh, by the way, I just want to let you.
But who we were in our addiction does not define us. Who we are today in recovery.
I cannot look at you. You guys have no residue whatsoever. You guys look amazing.
Yeah, we're all great people. All of us, even the ones that are still struggling, are still out there. They have that in them. They have that potential. So we hope we promote that.
Absolutely.
And we hope we break that stigmatism in what we do.
Yes.
With your podcast, it's called Affirmations. So
I love
tell me a little bit about that and what that means to you.
Affirmations for Recovery was birthed due to being a counselor and doing a lot of work in the space and just watching how like a lot of companies require, air quotes, a lot of companies require you to use the curriculum. The standard curriculum, the Hazelden, Betty Ford, the classic, the evidence-based practiced community. That's how they do it. So politically correct. So I started diving in, working in this space over 10 years. It just started weighing on me because a lot of it wasn't effective for people that look like me. You know what I mean? So it was like, I feel like it could work for somebody, but for me I was challenged. I was just challenged. So I decided to just develop my own curriculum, so I'm on my third publication. Affirmations for Recovery was the first. It was my baby. It was like that's my virgin baby. That's my love child. And then from there, from the feedback through the work and just the constant growth, I've developed two other ones. I got Affirmations, like an actual guide that complements the journal. And then I have a relapse prevention program, a relapse prevention guide that made me a bestseller. And how I made me a bestseller is I offered it to clinics that I would come and teach it for free if they would buy a certain amount. And that marketing tool went like a charm.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you talk about that, and I get what you're saying, automatic.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yes.
You already know. I can roll a blunt, so I get it.
My type of woman, okay?
Look, better than most, even.
Yes.
When you say that, and it's really ironic because Peter and I have been talking about where we want to get exposed to, and we've done a great job with LGBT community We've done a great job with 4D.
Yep.
Another Chance, Celio. We've done a good job. Where we're looking to do a better job in is right here.
Yes.
I went to Miracles meetings, but I didn't want to be hit on, especially when I told my story.
Righteous.
You already know, and stuff like that. But that's I think the nugget that we're missing. And we do alcohol recovery. We've touched overeaters. We've touched sex. We've touched meth. We've hit them all, bipolar. And we just want to touch everything so that if you're sitting in your car and you're struggling from one of these things, hopefully you'll think to go get some help, that it's possible to recover.
Yeah.
You got my mind spinning. I'm always thinking of a master plan, right? There's room in this. Like, I've been soliciting the agency that I work with to start a podcast because that's just the way the world is shifted. Like, if you don't have a podcast or some sort of social media presence, you're not relevant. And we want to be relevant for the next generation. You want to stay relevant. So if you're building something, so I said all that to say, I am going to see about, because we're in the process of, since about 4, like the Oregon Change Clinic, we're actually in the process of moving to the old Fora. They gutted it out downtown.
DePaul, 13th and freaking Taylor. No, Washington.
So
okay.
They gutted it out. It looks amazing. We just did a field trip earlier in the week. It is phenomenal. They got it's state of the art. They're gonna have game room. It's the same clinic kind of vibe, but it's ran by an African American, and she's like a risk taker. That's the lady I just talked about, the House Representative lady. She is Shannon Isidore, shameless plug. She is doing a lot of work. She's a veteran. She fought for the country. Now she has Oregon Change Clinic, which is thriving. It is doing a lot of great work. It's very intense outpatient, but she also provides housing for people that are actually treating at the clinic. And I'm one of her star players. Like, I work there Mondays and Tuesdays, and I am like, it's rock and roll for me. It's definitely rock and roll.
I love it. Can I tell you, that place is a little bit sentimental to me.
Yes.
So my daughter's father went there out of prison. We were just friends.
Wow.
And just kicking it. And they had just remodeled the bottom into a children's center. And I had 1 term left of college, and they weren't open yet. And they let him watch her Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 12. So I could finish my life. Yeah, and he's dead.
Wow.
He didn't make it.
Wow.
But I have nothing but love because I wouldn't have had my degree without them letting him watch her. And he had almost 10 years sober.
Wow.
So he had a lot of good time with her, and it started thanks to that little spot.
People like to tell their story. A lot of things that I'm learning as a facilitator, a lot of my groups are just talk therapy. I let people get in there and check in. I have a little runway that I use to let them check in on. And then that's the group that usually drives the whole.
Tell me about the runway.
So the runway is, I need a word to describe how you feel, because feeling words are so important. I think people that are in treatment and learning how to unlearn and relearn.
Sounds like IOP.
It's very IOP. It's very IOP. So you got to tell me how you feel. You got to tell me a goal that you're working on, okay? Because goal setting, when you think about treatment and recovery, goal setting is super important, and a lot of people don't understand that. So
goal setting is important in life.
So
even when you hit the goal, then you come out with a new one.
Hello. So when you think goal setting, it's got to be SMART, the acronym SMART, specific, measurable,
attainable, realistic, and timely.
Hello.
Yes.
So that has to be it. And then last but not least, one thing that you're thankful for. So it sounds like this. Today, my name is EA, and I feel amazing. A goal that I'm working on is to put a smile on one person's face, because to me, smiles are contagious. And one thing I'm thankful for being on the Recovery Podcast today, okay? Because this is my 409th one of the year. I had a goal for 1,000. I want to make 1,000 podcasts by the end of the year. I feel a little short, but I'm at 409. Okay?
Wow.
I've been on 409.
For the year 43. So our goal was to drop one consistently every Friday.
Every week. Yes.
Yeah. And we have plus bonus shows.
Yes.
Plus we winged it at Recover Out
Oh, my
Loud
God.
with the rapper.
You look good. When I saw you guys at the walk, was that a plan? Because you guys had
I
that set up
tapped
perfect.
Bo into it and putting our logo on the back of his shirt. And
he was gracious enough to get us a table, which
and
was
I told him I
really
wasn't carrying the
awesome.
table, and he said, "Girl, I won't make you carry the table."
So you should be part of the fixture when Oregon recovers moving forward. Every event
Can I
that they
tell
do,
you?
you need to be there.
Funny thing, I applied for a job there, and it was because I wanted to switch gears, and I applied for a job, and they took me. And it was funny. The first guy that shows up, I know from my group that I run, and I was like, "Dan, hi!" And then Bo comes on, and Bo's like, "The job title was program associate, so I think I'm helping you with different programs. I'm going to get them organized." So the first thing he tells me is, "You'll have to carry tables and set up tables and stuff like that." And I said, "Bo, do I look like I'm going to be setting up tables for
Come
you?"
on, buddy.
And I was like, I must have misunderstood this position. And Dan starts cracking up. And I
am
was
not
like,
no table carrier.
I might break a nail.
Hello.
And no, and do you know how old I am? Like, really?
When they're not carrying tables, I'm not saying that they can't, but that's
I
just
don't
not
even
dead,
want
okay?
to.
All right.
But I'm hoping they get a grant and they hire 6 more and I can do some other program associate job or something.
I'm hoping to work with Oregon Recovers moving forward on helping them get more money because I know a lot of people. And one thing before,
I think they're about to.
Their predecessor, he wasn't, I love Mike. He was great guy. Shout out to you for running such an amazing mission.
And he got the foundation.
And he got the foundation, but he wasn't really keen to the people of color community. Most of the events I went to, I was sitting in events, I'd be like, damn, I can count on my hand. And then when I saw Bo work out, my heart almost stopped. My heart almost stopped. I met Bo it was at a conference where it was like at the Doubletree. I originally met Bo. I registered for it. I went because they had CEUs. Shameless. I need those CEUs.
The Out in Recovery conference?
It was at the Doubletree.
By True Colors.
Okay.
Amanda?
I don't remember all the.
We were there. We did a podcast on it.
I'm sure you might have been there. Like, I'm sure. So I was my first encounter with Bo. When I found out he was doing the events for him, I was like, I've been in love ever since. I helped him with the walk. Like I did the Portland one. I definitely did some movement with that. I got him Nicole Clark, and it's been love ever since. Like, I love it. Yeah.
He had some great people at the luncheon from around the community. So he's definitely bringing a lot of the community.
Alex Green. Alex Green. Julie. Saw Julia.
I don't like the Packers, but I like Alex Green. I don't like the Packers, but I like Alex Green.
Yeah, I like Alex Green too. Alex Green, I met him a few years ago at a speaking. He was speaking for Urban League. I was working with Urban League. I was a contractor with them, and he came in and just dropped the mic. His story is amazing. Yeah. Oh my God.
He's going to come on our show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I told you
just to be a flower
the nugget we were missing.
Yes.
And very important to me and important in our community to be diverse everywhere.
Yes.
Because addiction doesn't pick and choose.
No way.
It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't care if you got money. It doesn't care what denomination you are, who you sleep with, what religion you practice. It is everywhere.
Yes.
You just don't see it as much with rich people because they hide it in their house and they still got a house.
Hello.
So
they're functional. They become functional with it. You know what I mean?
Over 10 million Americans have a job and function with addiction.
Oh my God. Trust me.
Until they don't, which it was me.
Damn it.
One of those Americans.
Luckily, I didn't have a good job until I was sober, so I was able.
I would definitely, since the mission is to get a diverse, I don't know if you reached out to Nicole Clark. But she's amazing.
Oh yeah, Nicole. She was
sassy.
There.
She was one of the. She got one of the awards. 10-year award.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with her. I definitely would love for her to come on this show. And I have I have some authors that I'm currently working with management.
Yeah, we'll talk off air
for sure. For sure.
So when you were talking about your words, so at 25 years sober, I went to IOP.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a breakdown. I was exhausted from working. I went to a new company after working at Sprint. And what you described is exactly what I did every day. And in addition to them asking if I was suicidal or did I want to kill anyone. And and I would say no to those both. I love myself way too much for any of that. And I was one of the few people that went there that was sober. But yeah, they would do the feeling word, the goal, and all of that as well.
Crazy. I don't know where I got that from. It's just God
But
spoke
it
to me.
starts a great conversation.
Yeah.
And it also lets you get to heart of the topics you probably may or may not get to when
Yes.
someone says they're frustrated. What are you frustrated about?
Yes.
And I would go to Peter.
Mhm.
I've been processing memories. It's not very fun. That didn't come up until I was 56.
Oh,
And
She's jealous of me. I was a blackout drinker, so I don't remember all those words.
I am jealous of that.
She
I'm
remembers
almost
all
60.
of it.
But
look amazing.
don't do drugs. But
Right?
I would call Peter, oh my God. And
Yeah.
luckily I was in IOP
Mhm.
and therapy for the very first time.
Mm.
And it was a process. And I was lucky to go sober. So I learned a lot. And then I chose, the first time my doctor made me go, the second time I chose to go because I was getting stressed again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You went back to something that you found to work.
Yeah. And this time I didn't go with the DUIers who some were about BS. They were just there because they had to be.
Right.
I went to the
Yeah.
mental health counseling
Okay.
and dealt more with the anxiousness. And I would say from my former career, I had some unwanted memories and from my childhood that I never dealt with. And eventually, I guess they creep up.
Yeah.
It's something I just chose not to define me. I didn't want it to,
Yeah.
that I was better than that,
Mhm.
stronger than that.
Mhm.
And it is a part of me as well.
You can never look at somebody and just tell the whole story. You gotta let them tell it.
And I
Okay.
have to tell you, I couldn't tell that story. A couple of years ago, I
Yeah.
couldn't even talk about it without crying.
Mhm.
I didn't want to talk about it. I was tired, and the doctor said, I just want you to see the psychiatrist just to check and make sure you're okay. And the psychiatrist asked questions, and I was like, why are you asking this? and I'm like bawling, and she's like, well, you know,
It's working. What I'm asking you is working.
Yeah.
Shows again, recovery. You don't recover.
Yeah.
And
You
then
don't.
it's all life is
It's a
back.
journey.
It's a continual
Mhm.
thing,
Mhm.
just like life is a continual thing. It's just, I think for those of us who in addiction, we have to learn how to live life without that substance that we
Yes.
use.
And no matter what's going on,
Exactly.
you're going to have good
Yeah.
days and you celebrate them. You're
Yes.
going to have bad days. You celebrate them and you stay sober no matter what.
Yeah.
I am like the secretary president of the No Matter What Club.
Damn it.
I've been through more bullshit in recovery. I had tons of money
Mhm.
when I was using. I had more money than most, and it all got taken from me. And
Yeah. And then you have to go to a $20 an hour job or whatever
Hello.
and figure that out.
after
And
making
after-
thousands,
yeah,
yeah.
so-
Millions.
and then you're like, wait a minute, I had it much better over here with that, but you can't do
The
it.
money I spent on hotels alone, if I could just get a refund.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Nice ass hotels.
I just
Mhm.
think about the money I spent on booze. My God.
But that actually made you so much more valuable in your new walk, like how you mentioned, like the
Mhm.
podcasting and just giving back. You're
Yeah.
so much more valuable here. And it might not shown right now, but I promise you, this is the most rewarding.
It doesn't
thing you
show
can do.
financially, but I'll tell you, people come up to Peter and I all the time. And there'll be a
Mhm.
woman recently who just did our show. Matter of fact, her podcast comes out on Friday.
Okay.
And I love this girl. And she told me, I relate to you and I love you. And then when I heard her story, I understood.
Mhm.
And I go to a gay men's meeting, or it was originally a gay men's meeting. I was the first girl that went there. I went there by accident and I stayed.
By accident.
It was awesome because they didn't want to sleep with me and I didn't want to sleep with them. So it was perfect.
It was safe.
Yeah,
safe,
you're
safe,
fresh
really
out of
safe.
prison for owning an escort service, right? What is God interjected? And it was really good. But when they tell me that this really made a difference for them,
Mm.
I'm just, if you help one person,
Mhm.
like you said, you make one person smile.
Man,
Amen.
I'm telling you,
Mhm.
that's my work. That's my life's work. I'm dedicating the rest of my life, like to really adding value to the recovery space.
What made you want to do it?
Growing up in a home, my mother, as I get older, I long for some of the things that I didn't get with my mother, right? Because she was stuck in her addiction.
Mhm.
And that's okay. And that's okay now. I've learned to understand that. And I just don't want someone
My
else to
mother was
suffer.
an alcoholic too.
Yeah. And substance abuse, mental health, those are the world's oldest pandemics.
Mm.
They're going to be here well after us too, right? Let's just be real. It'll be here after us. There's no generation that'll solve that problem wholeheartedly. It'll always be here. The secret, I find, is finding those tools to help us persevere in these days and time, right? Because it's just what it is. We need ways to cope.
And you can change it because my parents divorced at 9 months. 9 months. They put me with a nanny, and my daughter has not gone through anything that I have. No one's ever put their hands on her. I would stab them for real and go back to jail. But my parents not being there, I've never missed a basketball game or a softball game. And recently, the addiction's there. She came from 2 parents of both addicted. And knowing that her childhood was really good and her saying that, you break that pattern. And I've never hit you. You break that pattern. So she's not going to bring these to her kids.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Because anything can happen. Somehow the road just turns. We can't predict it. But all we can do is, again, find those tools, or healthy tools. If the road decides to turn, hey, this is what you can use.
Great.
So I'm focused. I'm totally 100% focused on keeping it alive, because, people want to still use things from the 70s, and that's okay. But it's not as relevant as it is right now in this moment. And I want to teach people how to make sure you always checking the pulse of the
and
of
drugs
the time
are changing. I never did. I don't even know what it is.
Goodness gracious, the world is different. Addiction is different. The tools that we use are different. Some of the things that you have to do.
Mine. Never what I thought of.
As addiction, like you were just talking about, the drugs and all that evolves. We have to evolve our recovery.
Yes, our tools, the things that we teach people. Yes, the modalities is what we're called.
And I used to not believe in MAT, medication assisted treatment, but I have to tell you, with fentanyl and with heroin.
Yes, I agree.
Back in the day, alcohol, and that's where AA started, and that was great for that. But as times have changed, new addictions have come on, or we're all recognizing that there's more than just alcohol as an addictive substance. But
I still do believe in the principles in all our affairs.
I believe in a lot of the stuff.
I think that you don't just throw that out. You take it and adapt it, fit. And that's why it's so great that we have True Colors and Painted Horse and other cultural-based variety meetings.
We've learned so much.
Criminon meetings it's all these things, Overeaters. We have so many different.
Do they have a sex one? I need a freaking sex one.
Yeah, they have sex.
Yeah, I'm going crazy right now.
We haven't had anyone. I think we might have, but broadcast. But they didn't quite admit it. But
they get down.
In next episode,
warning, sexually explicit. Yeah, we've had. He's from my home group, and he's a character.
But it is fantastic that we've evolved to have so many different places to go to now. And
I think you can be addicted on so many levels. Different parts of my life. Like right now, my new addiction is recovery sweatshirts, like True Colors and whatnot, and matching them up with different Air Jordans or Air Force Ones. I want to match the colors, right? That's because I don't want to wear business clothes anymore.
I'm telling you.
So True Colors has the softest sweatshirt. I'm just saying. And that is my new thing. So I'm trying to match up these clothes with these colors.
Damn it.
New addiction.
That's a great addiction. I wouldn't mind having that kind of addiction. That's a great addiction.
Bo had tan shirts, which I thought, I love you, Bo. Where the color is ugly. I don't wear tan, right? Then I saw his tan Air Jordans. And I was like, motherfucker, your shirt matches your Air Jordans. And he goes,
this tan shirt is dope, actually.
Right. And the shirt was dope because it had our logo on it. And it was the first shirt that had our logo on it. Yeah. And same with GTD. We have a shirt with that shirt with logo. And I just got shoes to match that one. But
good addiction. That's a really healthy addiction, guys. I don't mind being
positive.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
I'm addicted to smiling and just being around positive.
That's a great.
That is amazing.
I can sit around positive people for hours and days and just get lost. And my wife would be like, honey, you coming home? Like, I'm around positive people right now. Because I work as a counselor. So a lot of the stuff I do is helping people become positive. And
What they say about Mike Covey at Fora, that Mike is one of the most positive mentor, Mike.
Oh my God, I think I met him one time because I had interviewed to work there. And I think he's like a little short guy. Yes, I hadn't just, but I heard a lot about him. We met.
He's a lot like you.
Okay. That's what I heard. I heard that he was like, they was like, if you work here, you're going to be just like Mike. I was like, who's Mike? I'm like,
he's like the white version of you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And then you're like the boy version of me. So it's all good. Yeah.
I got a picture of Mike. I'm going to make sure this is the same one before.
Yeah. I have pictures of him. So,
yeah, he's dope. He is dope. Shout out to him. Yeah, I met him one time. I haven't had a chance to work with him, but I would love
He works a lot with GTD, which is Go the Distance. And they were at the walk.
Okay.
They go into treatment centers and take the clients running because motion helps with the endorphins.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they go in, they go into Fora 2 times a week. And if you show up for 12 runs, you get a new pair of shoes. And then they have 2 alumni runs a week. So again, you have that foundation for when you get out. And I see that Quentin, who takes the pictures.
Oh my God.
Quentin has been with GTD for 3 years. And when Izzy started it, it was because our friend was at DePaul and just wanted to go running because he was stuck in the building. And so he got a slip signed with 15 people and Izzy was allowed to take them running.
That's
and
powerful.
He just did it on his own, right?
Yeah.
And then it became this Go the Distance. And like now he's in Celio Treatment Center, Fora, Coda.
So that's what this is. I just had a moment. I just had a revelation. That's what this recovery podcast is going to be. We're going to go into treatment centers. And I say we, I don't know how I got a part of it. I'm here now.
I'm trying to take my coffee.
You guys are going to go into treatment centers and you're going to, and we're going to change the narrative because this right here is therapy. This is a form of therapy and people just want to be heard. And then what's great about it is I believe people like us learn from people like us. So this is a great way to get the message out. So any organization that don't have a podcast, you should have a podcast group where people can just come, set up this right here. They don't got no video. You can't see their face. And they can just come and say how they feel. Today I feel, and just put it on record and then let them play it back. Let them listen to it. You can listen to your journey.
Can I tell you what a lot of people on our podcast have said? A lot of people, including the founder of GTD, said he learned so much about his childhood going through the podcast.
And listening to a story.
And having his therapist listen to the podcast.
Absolutely.
And so it was really good. When I listened to mine, at first I just cried. And then my daughter's, and I was like, I'm going to give you permission, but I don't know that I really want you to hear this shit. Because she doesn't know that person.
Right.
And she's never seen her mom high. And none of that stuff.
But that's another thing I talked about removing the stigmatism, but also the anonymity. And we started, and we are an audio only because protecting people's anonymity. There are people who want and for various reasons. Yeah.
You're
That's
a doctor.
what's going to make it easy.
You might not want people to know.
I also think that like for Julie and I being so open and honest and sharing, and others who have chosen not to remain anonymous, it's like when I'm a gay man, and when I started to see gay people in political positions, actors, singers coming out, I felt, I'm okay. I'm not this. I don't have to hide.
It's just,
He's not my husband. I keep telling people. No.
I had that one come like you guys spend a lot of time together.
We
now
do.
That she said that, I'm like, okay, I can.
She's my sister from a different mister.
Yes, I love it.
And he's my brother, and I love his mother.
And you guys are phenomenal just to be able to bask in this energy. I'm an energy person. I get my energy from people. So you guys are amazing.
And what you talked about and alluded to with going into treatment centers, that is a goal. And
you're already there.
And an aspiration.
2025, we're going to do that. I'm going to push a couple buttons. You already got Tony 3D. You should set up the shop there. You already got Organ Recovers. Every event
We've
that they do,
got the
you're
directors, but we have never been in sites. We've been to
right.
Oh, like events like that, like the
We've been to the events.
Yeah.
We haven't gone into
places where they let you.
We haven't talked to their clients.
It's scary. It's scary. We got to break that stigma on that because
Mm-hmm.
what I love about this is audio. So we can't see the face automatically. That person can be Jim Bob.
Exactly.
You don't have to say her name.
Exactly.
You just
I
tell me what
offered
you was
that
on your
to my
mouth.
sponsee, right?
Mhm.
I wanted her because she was the newest one in recovery. And I said, we need somebody who's new in recovery. And they work in a medical field and they didn't want to tread in those waters.
Right.
And I said, you can be Betty Sue.
Yeah.
And
Audio only.
There you go.
and there's some, but we have a doctor who's a chiropractor, Dr. Dave,
Mhm.
who is out and about and
And
everyone knows about
Mhm.
his recovery, who came on the show, posed for a picture, speaks at conventions.
Yeah.
So it just depends
Taboo.
what their groove is.
I think it's just taboo at the moment, but you
But
guys
I think
have
we're
the
breaking
energy.
it. We're
You're
breaking
breaking
that
it,
taboo.
and having people like me on. I would love to be on anytime. I don't care. You can call me and say, man, I'm set up in Woodburn. I got a thing in Woodburn. I'm driving to Woodburn.
I love that because we
Yeah.
want to do more roundtables, like
Roundtable, I
where
was
we
gonna
have
say.
Bo here, you here,
Yes.
and maybe Tony, and we talk about what's going on politically right now and how can you help?
Absolutely.
Or what events are going on.
Or the holidays are coming up. How do you
Yes.
deal with the holidays?
Be
Let's get some
intentional.
people who have
And then get some people that are actually in their addiction, or not in their addiction, but in their recovery. They're actually working. This is a great platform. This is
Yeah, because
perfect
there's
for
one
'em.
thing I don't do. We talk about tools and rules. Julie has some.
Okay. Listen, guys, get your pens and paper.
So if you're fucking around, I don't fuck with you.
Damn, she's hood. This is a
Like,
hood.
I do not fuck with you. You can be in the treatment center one day and I got you. But if you're fucking around, I don't fuck with you. It's kept me safe.
Yes.
And
yes.
I was an IV drug user.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it
Damn,
is
my
a
hands
safe.
start itching.
Yeah, it's a safe place for me. So that's mostly my rule.
That's your number one boundary.
That's the number one boundary because it still impacts me. If somebody's tweaking, I have a hard time sitting there. I want to vomit. So
Righteous.
it physically impacts me.
Mhm.
My other rule is if I've known you from my past, which I don't come across anybody from my past, but if I do, I'll meet you at the meeting at 12 on Friday. We don't hang out. I'll meet you at the meeting on Friday. I have to see what you're doing and what you're about. That's only happened one time. They met me at the meeting and they passed away of an overdose.
Damn it.
So I'm just saying those are my biggest rules and boundaries. And then also if you work for me, at one time I have 137 employees, right? We don't mix work with recovery, meaning you're not coming, you know what I'm saying? But the good thing about that was if I saw you and you were fucking up at work, I would offer you treatment before I would fire you and tell you I would keep your job for you.
Oh, that's big.
Which a lot of people wouldn't do. I
That's
would tell my
big.
boss, look, I'm going to offer this because then you have more of incentive. This job is
Absolutely.
going to be waiting for you.
Hello.
And I'd give you a leave of absence to go to treatment. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But if you
Yes.
came back, you were sober.
That's a
Yes.
philosophy that is it not Arbor House, where if you leave, they keep your bed, they keep you.
Yes.
They give you 30 days to get back into treatment and to get yourself right, and they
I
say
like
we
it.
welcome you back.
I like it.
Oxford House. It was Oxford House.
Oxford House.
Patty.
Yes, that's
I
Yeah.
like
Patty.
it. I like
And
it.
I think that is fantastic.
That
and
is fantastic.
And there's another treatment center, another chance that no wrong door.
Yeah, I
It
like
means
that.
If you don't have insurance, they'll get you in.
And if you go out, you can come back.
They'll sponsor
welcome
you.
back.
They'll sponsor you. If you have the wrong insurance, they'll get you in.
See,
because-
I love those kind of people.
Because addiction is
Their executive director, 45 felonies. He is my man. Okay. For real.
Yeah, see, those kind of people make the world go round.
They
And you
do.
know what he
Yeah.
said? The judge said to him, I believe you deserve another chance.
Hello.
Mhm.
So he gonna always live like that for somebody
Can I
else.
tell you, he does. He's not bougie.
Mhm.
I tend to be a little bougie sometimes.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
You earned it.
I find him to be one of the realest and
down to earth. Yeah.
and speaks his mind in a different way. He had hard questions for us. And but he's building something and he started another chance.
It's
A poker
peer-
night with the NA people.
It's one
Guy
of the
gave him
things that
250
I
grand.
hear over and over again. Peer experience,
Lived experience.
lived experience. Sorry, I had it backwards. Lived experience.
Mhm.
And he knows because he was there many
Mhm.
times that he
Mhm.
was going to treatment, went back out.
That's why CRMs are not sponsors.
Righteous.
Certified recovery mentors
Yeah.
are not meant to be there for 24 years in your life. They're meant to get you there. And
Over the
then you
hump.
got to take the next
Yes,
step.
I think sponsors are built different. They look the same. When you first come to treatment, man, a sponsor, CRM, they look the exact same because you just need somebody right now to bridge that gap. But a sponsor's role is a little bit different. They are designed to be there a little bit longer, like the long run, the long haul for you.
My first one, I had 23 years.
Yeah. So do you know where sponsors live? Because I need sponsors. You guys are like a walking resource. You know what I'm saying? Like
I can hook you up.
everybody, Tony, Bo, GTD, me.
Yeah.
You got everything you need. Let's put it together and let's really build something.
It's
here.
been a
Like,
blessing over this
yes.
last year. And I just finished editing, I think episode 45. And through all this time, we must be doing something or be on the right path because we have gotten to meet all the right players in recovery.
Quick.
And
Yes.
just in a year, it hasn't even been a year. What's it? March 9th is our
Damn it.
our
Not
year.
even a year.
I'm a little outgoing.
Yeah. I could not have made this happen
Yes.
without Julie
It was Julie.
being so connected.
Julie, it was her energy. I remember specifically when I walked down there, I saw all this. I was like, damn, they podcasting. And then I said something to her and she just had the snappiest comeback ever. I was like, that's her. I need to be on your show. What the hell? Give me a space. Give me a
I think
seat.
you asked for a shirt, and I was like, no.
You had a snappy comeback. It was like too snappy for my blood. I was like, hold on, okay? So what I would like to do, and I'm just brainstorming here. You might take this out since you're editing. But
Can I tell you, the podcast doesn't happen without Peter.
he's the brains. He's the legs
He's
and the
the
arms.
I'm the
brains.
He's
I
the
just,
legs. He's the
I
legs
just
and
look
arms.
pretty and talk. Yeah.
Yes. But what I would like to do is I'm going to figure it out. 2025, I want to put together a group because I already do thousands of groups, right? I'm going to figure out how we can bring the podcast to a group. I'll be the facilitator. You guys will be my co-facilitators in a sense because you guys will help me you guys will be doing the podcast, be interviewing the people that's there. I want to capture everything that's being said in that meeting. And I want to figure out how to, because I got to make it make sense.
I want to meet your lady.
I had to make sense, right? So the evidence-based practice of it, that's what I'm going to be selling into these companies. Hey, this is help. This is going to be helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
We let this happen. And yeah, let's see where it goes. I think with, you already got people like Bo, Tony, things like that. They're going to help us change the narrative because they're going to help us go and kick the legislature's ass with this because I like it.
I think Tony, that is his
thing.
strong suit.
I've been
right
trying
there.
to find a way, and I'm not a trier. People that know me know I do not even use the word try, but it feels like trying because I haven't found it. But you guys are you guys are a secret sauce.
There's
I
a reason
need
that we
team.
got together. So
yeah, I need a team of
Yeah.
people that can actually hold that part because I'm already busy. I can't keep fighting to do this. But once I get back into the right space, I'll be like, look, we're going to do it. I already got the team of people that come set up. We'll do it. Versus me having to do it. It takes a little longer because I already got
and we interviewed Tony at 4D.
Yes.
We interviewed Amanda at True Colors headquarters.
That's big.
Yeah.
Bo came to Studio H. Yeah.
We should set something up with Miracles. I'm going to talk to Julie.
Look it. I gave her my card at the luncheon.
And she said she'd be on our show.
I love her. I don't even know if she knows how much I love her, right? I was the only blonde, green-eyed girl
at Miracles.
Damn it. Okay.
Damn it.
And I had to.
They're there now. They're there now. So you made it cool. She's the pioneer to making it cool.
I had to get out though when they'd ask me my story.
It
was a different adventure.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the Julie I have now.
I love Julie. Oh, the other Julie, that Julie.
No, I didn't have this Julie.
Okay, sorry. She's Julie too.
I thought she was Julia. No,
Julie. Julie. I call her Julie.
It's a big difference.
It is a big difference. And you better watch out because she is like royalty. She knows it. So
they call her
Julie.
Queenie, right? Or
Queen Julie.
Queen Julie.
Yeah, she definitely. She's the queen.
I'll settle for a princess.
Though
I do have earrings that said queen.
So I'm gonna plug that up. I'm gonna make that. That's my first order of business.
Before we get to, we could talk off.
Oh yes,
but I just want to get back and wrap. Our session
land
up
our
here.
plane. Yes,
yeah. So if someone is struggling out there who's listening,
yes,
what pearl of wisdom do you have?
Ooh. I would definitely tell you, you are not alone first. Okay.
Amen.
I would
Says
say
that.
90% of humankind struggles with something at some point, at any given hour, any given stroke. The secret that I find to be very helpful is learning how to express yourself to somebody. Always learn there's somebody out there that wants to listen and wants to help. You got to find those people. That's the work you have to put in. And I'm not hard to find. I'm always available. Erick Allen Recovery.shop. That is my website.
We'll have a link.
ERICK. People spell Erick differently, but I spell it that way. So Erick Allen Recovery.shop has a link to everything you need to know. And it'll actually
We'll put a
get you
link
there
on our
faster.
website.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll have
I
a link in the
appreciate
show
you
notes.
guys.
Definitely.
Yes. All
Our
my
website
publications,
is
everything.
pretty tight because we have the genius.
Yes. So you're the genius, huh, Peter?
Okay.
Yeah.
They
I'm
call many things, but genius, I don't know.
So
Yeah.
in our nighttime group, we have some people from Australia that come to our meeting. And our podcast is 32nd in Australia. It's too funny.
That's dope. Okay, so
Number
while we're
32.
here, I know it's
And
about
I think
me,
we were
but
number 17 in Puerto Rico. I saw us.
16th in
16. Portugal. That's
can you
what it was.
plug what you guys are doing, like the events or the groups that you do outside of this? Because I know I might get people to listen to this one, and I want them to know where they can tap into AA meeting virtually at and find you.
Oh, it's all on our website.
Oh, it's on. Okay, so what's the website?
realrecoverypodcast.com.
Yes.
We have merchandise.
Yes.
We have a
We
newsletter.
have resources. We've got
We
an
have-
emergency sheet you can print or download to your phone with emergency numbers.
Oh,
We've got
shit.
the Oregon, I'm going to get it wrong, the Recovery Network of Oregon app link to download, which is
Okay.
where you can pull that up on your phone.
Dan, who designed it, is my friend.
Yeah, he's from Oregon. It's through
Being
Oregon
in recovery
Recovers.
a long time, I've gotten to meet a lot of good people.
Mhm.
And so it's been a blessing. The Izzy's, the Mike Marshalls,
Mhm.
and then Bo takes over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Julie's the shit, guys, in real life. I'm looking at the shit. I had the opportunity to sit down and share space with someone that I'm telling y'all the shit. Okay. It takes one to know one. I know when I'm sitting in front of greatness. This is greatness. So I'm honored.
We look
Yes.
forward to being on your show. I'd
Absolutely.
love
I'm
to.
gonna send you after we turn the mic off here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
make sure we leave here with all that. Because it's a
and we appreciate you so much. I'm so glad that you stopped by our booth and we hooked up that way.
it's a
and-
new
and
friend. It's a
for
new
you to
friendship, family ship.
We had people come up to us that day and say, "Can I be on the podcast?" And I was like, "You can listen. I give the card too." But when you walked away, I was like, "We're gonna get him on the podcast."
Yes. And
It was
I'm
your
always
energy.
available.
We're so
Yeah.
grateful.
I'm always
Yeah.
available, and I would love to come back only because one is too close to none. I don't want your guest to be like, "What happened to that guy?" No, I'm always here.
We'll get you back for a roundtable too.
Round two.
We're gonna do
Bo
that.
Bo and the crew. I would love.
Yeah, and what
That would
we
be
want to
great.
do, and this was our first time at like live events. But after we do the Oregon Recovery Walk, all of us get together and talk about it and what we learned and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yeah, that'd
We
be
really
awesome.
want to do that. And
We
you
got
know,
some good
we got-
plans and
That'd be
ideas
dope.
for next year.
That would be dope. And
look at that's
Stop.
where we're headed to.
Okay.
We wanted to.
Let's close this out so
Yeah.
I can edit it a little bit easier.
minutes.
I don't want to have to edit all this stuff out.
Right.
Thank you for coming,
Yes,
Eric.
ma'am.
This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
Julie
It was
with
my
the Real
pleasure.
Recovery Podcast.
And this is Peter. Thanks for listening. That's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks to each and every one of you for lending us your ears and hearts. Your engagement is what fuels our passion and keeps this podcast thriving.
We cherish the moments we share here and hope they resonate with you, whether you're on a daily commute, at the gym, or just taking a moment for yourself.
Make sure to head over to our website at realrecoverypodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter for the latest insights and uplifting stories from our community delivered straight to your inbox.
Click that subscribe button on your favorite podcast player too, so you can keep up with every new episode. It's your support that keeps our conversation alive and meaningful.
And if our stories have touched you, consider using the donate button on our site. Your contributions, no matter the size, are deeply appreciated. They help us continue our mission of sharing hope and healing.
Join us beyond the podcast and follow our journey on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. All the links are on our site. so you can stay connected and be a part of the Real Recovery community every day.
Your likes, shares, and comments not only spread the message of recovery, but also remind us that we're all in this together.
So, until we meet again, remember that recovery is a journey, not a destination, and we'll be here to accompany you every step of the way to recovery, real recovery.
Thanks for listening.